Hey everybody, welcome back to Microphone Mondays. I'm with the amazing Gary Chalk. He's an industry giant. He's in majorly involved in the union up in Canada, as well as characters on camera and off camera with the video games, animation, you name it. He's been it. He's some of his best known roles are one of my favorites was in Son of the Fly, and Optimus Primal, of course, from Beast Wars and Beast Machines. Thanks so much, Gary. I appreciate your time, bud.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask the standard questions because there's a lot of people that don't get to go to conventions to hear these stories. But how did you first get started in the industry, on camera or otherwise?
Well, well, I've been acting since I was a kid. Been singing since I was about 8. That's my first love was that, and then I got into doing musical stuff in high school, but always never really took it seriously. I always thought it was just like fun and games, something you just do for fun. Then I was in college. I wanted to be a teacher of anthropology and English literature. I went down to the basement. They had the theater department down in the basement of the college and saw a show, and it was of Mice and Men. And I watched it, and I said, "Man, this is really good. It's got really good production value, really good acting." He says, "I want to be a part of this." So I signed up, and they said, "Okay, let me in." So I've been doing that. Been doing plays and so on ever since then. My very first voiceover job was in college. I did a commercial for an old folks home for a friend of mine, and that went over well. And I recall my English teacher in junior high school saying, "You have a career in radio. You should be in radio." And I went, "Really? Me? They get paid for that?" "Oh yeah." So I started pursuing that, and sure as shooting, things started going very well. And then my very first cartoon was Hiawatha. It was for Kenner Classics for Nickelodeon. And I had never done a cartoon before, and that was back in 1982 or 83, I think. 83, I think. And I had never done a cartoon before, and I had no idea how it worked and what they were going to do. And so I just said, okay. And I went in and read for it, and I got 5 roles on the show. So
Wow, was that back before the whole industry standard of you do three and you get paid extra for the others, or
that's right. No, this was back in the day when every character you played, you got paid for. And and it was all put on film.
film? What is that?
Film. It's just the stuff, and I remember when we were doing ADR for the show, we'd record it on tape. I know it's weird, but we recorded actually on tape. And when we were doing the ADR, they had a movie screen up in the theater, and they'd turn on the projector, and the projector was on a loop. So they turn it on, and they'd have these 2 black lines, one on either side of the screen, like this, and they'd come together. And when they joined, that's when you talked. So
So
instead of
no
going
beeps back then,
beep 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 talk, it would be
huh?
and talk. So it was quite exciting. And then that from then on, I thought, well, maybe I have something here, and I started auditioning for more cartoons. And my first one in Vancouver was. Barbie and the Rockers, a Barbie one-off movie, and then on to GI Joe and Captain Nintendo and Kissy Fur and all those, and it just went on and on from there. And the movie industry, the same thing. I started working in the movies in 1979, and TV shows and things like Looking for Mr. Patman, A Man and Woman in a Bank, and movies like that. My
So
first lead. Oh, go ahead.
were you doing voiceover at the same time that you were doing some of those films and TV series, or were
Oh yeah,
oh
yeah.
wow.
There was at one point in 1994. I think it was 1994, that I was working. I was working 7 days a week doing cartoons and working nights on a movie. I was doing a movie called, if you'll see it somewhere, it's called Unforgettable, with Ray Liotta and Jennifer Russo, I think, or Renee Russo. And I was working at night on the movie, and I'd start work on the movie at 4 o'clock, and I'd finish at 4 a.m. I'd run home, go to sleep, get up at 7:30, quarter to 8, wish down to the studio to start work at 8:30, do cartoons all day till 3, rush down to set, start at 4, and I did that for, I was 7 days a week from January until July, but only a couple of weeks on that movie. But it almost killed me. Working 20 hours a day.
Should have had you a personal assistant to drive you around.
Yeah. No, I was seeing little rabbits bouncing out the corners of my eyes. I'm so tired. But yeah, sometimes it gets a little hectic like that. Especially when you're doing a film and it's a duration one, and you've got weekly shows that you're doing. You're bouncing back and forth, back and forth. Just a little confusing and a little tiring.
You said before, I have a lot of Transformers fans. You said before that you originally, when it came to Beast Wars, as far as I know, you didn't have any prior knowledge of that franchise, and you went in to read for the main villain, Megatron, which is David Kaye's character.
Yeah.
And then, so how, for those who don't know yet, how did Optimus Primal come about?
Well, it came about. I was originally reading Megatron, doing all that, and I thought I had a pretty good shot at it. But David Kaye got cast in that role, and then they brought me in a couple of times for Optimus, and they said, "Oh, well, yeah, we like this one. Can you make him this?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, make him a little warmer, make him a little this, make him a little that." And I said, "Okay, okay." I said, "Okay, great. You're Optimus." And I went, "Okay, cool. Thanks. See you next week."
That had a good run. That's led to a lot of convention appearances.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I was quite amazed at it, but I had no idea that there were even conventions. So
was there any particular point where you discovered that you were famous for doing cartoon characters from fans?
yes, when I got a call from my agent saying they want you to come down to Disneyland to meet your fans, and I said, "What fans? I don't have any fans." He says, "Yeah, you do, and they're going to pay you to be there." And I went, "Shut up." He said, "No, no, you're gonna," and so that's what I did. I think my very first convention was in Van Nuys, or not Van Nuys, yeah, Van Nuys at by Disneyland, Orange County,
Wow, wow.
at a convention center.
I would be glad just to go to Disneyland. Period. I'd be
Yeah, but
paid to be there.
it was quite something. I'd never experienced that because my only exposure to Transformers at that time was I used to do the commercials for Generation Two.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't
Remember
realize
that
that was you.
Transformers Generation Two?
I didn't realize that was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh,
So I did all those, and I was doing some of the GI Joe ones as well.
yeah.
But
Uh,
that was back in the '80s, and I had
right. So
no
I have a
idea.
lot of people that are also interested in the voice acting aspect,
Hmm.
and you do a lot of commercial work. I'm not sure if you've done audiobooks, but I'm betting you have. You've done a lot of it. What would be your way if you were just starting out and you wanted to tell somebody that was pursuing this as a career? What would be the venue that you would choose to go through? It would be commercial work because animation is the most difficult, in my opinion, to get into. So, what would they need to do to prepare and what would they need to
Well,
have and which venue would they take?
well, as far as I know, the most accessible place to start a voice career, if it pays, is Books for the Blind. doing audiobooks for libraries and stuff for blind people.
Right.
They have that at most colleges, if you don't have that. But it's a great, practice ground. Doesn't pay a lot, but it's a great for getting your chops and characters and stuff like that. Narrations for films, doing uh, narrations for industrial films and things like that. It's things that are locally made, in your area, because not everybody lives in Los Angeles or New York
Yeah.
or Chicago.
That's where all the pay-to-play sites started popping up, but that's like the lowest paying way to get into it. But it's to me, it's a good way to get your feet wet, but not a good way to make a career out.
Yeah, you can't really make a lot of money at it, but it's a good way to get your feet wet. Exactly. And then go for commercials and put together a good commercial demo tape. Um, for example, what I would do is in my commercial demo tape, I have like three different kinds. You have the corporate spokesman, the man in the street, and retail. So, and remember last year when you said it wouldn't happen again, running around at the last minute looking for the right Christmas gift, or we're ABC Power. And we've been lighting your lives. We've been lighting up your lives for the last 100 years. Things like that.
That's most of where I get to do.
Huh?
That's mostly my area that I work in is doing the promo trailer type voices with the deep announcing type stuff. But
Yeah.
today it's all non-announcery, but they still want an announcer voice. They put non-announcer under
Well,
everything.
it's so funny there because and that's the thing. She goes, well, we want the voice. We don't want an announcer type. And I'm going, well, what the hell did you hire me for?
Exactly.
He said, well, no, we just want someone that's you sound like an announcer. I said, well, I am an announcer. He says, okay, now so make it sound like a man of the street. So sorry, I'm a little stuffed up this morning. So I said, okay, well, it's like you know we're ABC Power. We've been lighting up your lives for 50 years. If you like that, come on in, hook up with us, or there's or cell phone companies like we call them man in the street commercials. And basically, there, something. I got a great idea, and I think I want to share it with you.
Yeah, because you have
What do
to
you think?
especially when you're doing voices, you still have to know who you're talking to, where you are,
Yeah.
what you're doing. So it's important to remember those things.
So you categorize those kind of commercials, and then you put it on a tape. Like two or three examples of each one. Not more than a couple of minutes long. Tape all butted up nice and tight, and you farm that out to your advertising agencies because everywhere they make commercials everywhere.
Yeah, before I did this job, I didn't even realize how many voiceovers I heard in one day. There's
Oh,
just so much of it out there.
well, you don't realize it, but that every time you go into a store and you said on sale in aisle 14, you know,
All right, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, our Walmart has
it's
TVs at
two
the end
for
of every.
9.49, huh?
Our Walmart has TVs at the end of every aisle now, so we have to listen to commercials while we shop.
Yeah. And while you're walking down the aisle, someone, hey shoppers, aisle 14. Hey
Uh,
shoppers, the meat department. Hey shoppers, somebody gets paid for that.
yeah, yeah. There's somebody doing it somewhere.
You know,
Um,
every time you hear for service, press one.
yeah,
For
voicemail stuff.
For an operator, press 0. And all other inquiries, for an operator and all other general inquiries, press 0.
We
Somebody gets
appreciate your
paid for that.
call, and your
Huh?
answer will be called in the order it was received.
You are number 3 in the lineup.
So
There's,
you've done a broad spectrum of things, as I mentioned. You've done on camera, you've done ADR, you've
Mhm.
done animation. What are some of the pros and cons, or the differences between being acting on camera, like in Stargate, as opposed to doing something in studio or in studio with other actors, or ADR looping with the screen up?
Well, I guess basically, when you're working on camera, you've got to get dressed up and put makeup on, hit the marks, and memorize all the lines. Everything's got to be so. But it's fun to be with the team and fun to be with all the crew and all the other actors. I enjoy the technical aspect of it. I enjoy working with other people, and and going to different locations. That's kind of fun. You can't do that with animation. You're stuck in the box, right? But when you go to the studio, you don't have to get dressed up. You don't have to memorize any lines. You just come in and do your thing and hang out with your pals
Yeah.
and uh, and
Unless
bang
you're
off a script in a
unless you're
few
poor
hours.
Lee Tokar, he has to memorize his stuff because he doesn't see so well. Poor guy.
Oh yeah, no, Lee. No, he doesn't have to memorize his lines.
That's what he says. I don't know how
He's a
true
liar. He's just a big fat liar.
that
Because I see him with his script. I mean, he reads a script, but he has large print script.
Ah,
Don't let him fool you. But no, I love Lee. He's a terrific guy. We were just in Las Vegas together.
yeah, he brags about you all the time. He's really excited about this. I'll go ahead and plug it for him since I know he's going to watch this anyway. He's working on this new virtual animation studio, which is fan built, and hopefully,
Yeah, Fanville.
yeah, I'm hoping that that'll be helpful for all of us, to be honest, because it's
Oh yeah, no,
idea.
it should be a lot of fun. You know, I mean, it's a great thing.
Anyways, let's see here.
Then all the other things. I mean, all of them you get paid, and all of them have their pluses and minuses. I especially like lunch on the film set.
Yeah, I've never had lunch at any studio I've ever been at. I had tea, and that's the best I got.
The lunch on the film set is always really really good. The caterers make really good lunch. That's on the film set. On the cartoon set, it's usually Chinese or Japanese, so or maybe pizza.
At least you got food. Most of my jobs are so short, I don't have time to eat. I get a drink.
You don't have time to eat. Now, if we're doing an all day session, you start work in the morning at 9, and then you have lunch at 1, and then finish and get out of there at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And
Were there any cartoons that you worked on that you had prior knowledge of? Like I know they revamped Voltron for a current audience,
yeah,
and I don't know if you knew about the original series beforehand or
yeah, the
not.
original series, and yeah, I knew about them. The Voltron with the cats or the lions or whatever they
Right,
are,
right.
the big battle cats.
Do
Uh,
you go in fresh, even though if even if you've heard of something before or knew of it before, you just go in
I just
clean slate?
I go in and I play it the way I want to play it until they say no, we want you to play it this way.
Ah, gotcha.
That's
That actually brings up another point that I'd like to ask you about was how close to the descriptions do you follow the script, or you just all gut instinct when it comes to auditions? Is there
I pretty well follow exactly what they have written in the description in the script. I might add my own stamp or something to it, but usually the character is an important plot point, an important story point that so you don't want to make the character too much off the description because if you do, then it doesn't fit with the rest of the show and it doesn't fit with the storyline.
right?
Now, if you make them all nice and cute and whatnot, and he's supposed to be surly and slithery and snaky, well, it doesn't really work. But I usually follow what they ask, and I'm blessed with an ability to hear what they want. So when he says, make him more sibilant or slithery or oily or whatever, and
Purple.
make him purple. Purple? I don't want to be purple. Purple and slithery. I don't want to be purple and slithery.
Has
Ew.
there have there ever been any characters that you thought they should have been portrayed a different way, but that's not what the producers wanted? Or
Mm, quite honestly, no. No, I think the way that they select voices, it's like there's on camera stuff. There's lots of times where I'm going, why the hell would you hire? That is so badly cast. But on the voices, there are very few characters that I've watched. Well, yeah, very few that I've watched that were a little miscast or not what I expected. I mean, some of them like. Don't get me started on the Transformers movies that I just watched. Revenge of the Fallen
Oh, you poor thing.
last night, and I went, "Great God, how corny is this?" It was quite silly. I mean, the old robot with the cane going, "Oh, I told you. Now you people have got your problems, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna go." I'm gonna,
for an hour,
huh?
for like an hour, he just keeps going and going and going.
He's going. I don't have to do this, I could destroy the lot of you. It's not like I used to do it before, but it's all, and you can't understand it because it's all voice processed,
Yeah.
and the other ones. I think John Leguizamo was a little one. The little
Tom Kenny does one of the small ones.
the little
Uh,
ones
yeah,
sounded like.
the little wheelie guy, the one that humps the legs. That one was Tom Kenny.
Oh, that's Tom Kenny. That's who
Yeah.
I think is Leguizamo. They sound sort of similar, but they're so processed it's hard to tell. But no, those ones I was a little disappointed in those characters.
Yeah.
In
Well,
the
a lot
in
of
those
people agree with
movies,
you.
in the movies in particular, I was very disappointed in.
This may be an easy question, or it may not. I don't know. You've played both the main hero and you've also been the villain. Which would you prefer to do if you had a choice? Because I find villains are more fun, but it's also you get to be the hero to save the day. So which one would you prefer if you had to choose?
Well, I'll tell you what, villains have the best lines. They get to be the moo ha ha moo ha ha moo ha ha ha. I'll get you and your little dog too. They had the best lines, and that's a lot of fun. A lot of times they've got voices that kill your throat, but the good guys, the straight guys, those are the toughest ones to do because they're the do-gooders straight ahead, and they say all those lines that you cringe at if they're said. Like the original versions of He-Man. Well, I'm here with my battle cat Cringer. Time travel is only make believe, but we can learn from the past. Until next time. And you go, how the hell do you make those lines sound so that people don't go, oh, shut up? That's so corny.
Sounds like those NBC "The More You Know" public service announcements.
Yeah, it's like a public service announcement. So here I am with Tila. And so they have a very difficult time making the straight guy or the hero interesting. A lot of times it's the lines you have to say are, "Don't do that. We are here for the power of good, not the power of evil. We will chase you all and rout you out, you evildoers." And so you go, okay. Now, how are you going to make that interesting and maybe even funny? So that's the key, is to make those things fun, and that's what I tried to do with Primal. When I was doing the Beast Machines, it's the same thing. It's just like, oh, shut up, Rat Trap, and things like that would just come out,
Right.
and making it fun and accessible to everybody was the key challenge.
Uh, I've got two last quick questions, or three last quick questions.
Okay.
First of all, you're actually really involved in the union. You're president of the Canadian Union, correct? Or on the board?
No, I'm a director. I'm a director on the council
Okay, okay.
of our union. Yes.
And do you have any? Is there anything about union rules that people that are non-union should know about if they're trying to get into this business? Or
Well, I'll tell you what. When you work non-union, now I've always been a union guy, for decades, and I've always worked that way. So I don't, I don't begrudge anybody working non-union or union. It's just the way it is. But if you work non-union, you will get paid, and it will be, it'll be reasonable. The rates are quite comparable to union, but you don't have any protection. You don't get any residuals. You don't get health benefits, retirement benefits, any of those things, and they don't really help your career. I mean, you do one non-union gig, and you're paid that one time, and that's it. No more,
Yeah.
no resids, no nothing. And sometimes if a company reneges and doesn't pay you, well, you don't have any recourse. It's not like you'll take them to small claims and that, but you don't really have any way of ensuring that you're going to get paid and get paid right away. With the union, you get protection from that sort of thing. You get residuals. You get your insurance and retirement benefits. I just like working on a union in a union shop because because I feel more secure and I feel that my rates are okay, and I feel that well, especially these days, my health and retirement comes in real important.
Well,
It's very important.
I hope you don't have to retire anytime soon.
Oh, I'm not retiring yet. No.
The other question I had is there's been several voice actors like Jack Angel and Dan Gilvezan who've written books. Have you ever had a thought about writing a book about your experience?
Oh yes. No. I have a joke about. Well, I was joking about it earlier on. I Everywhere I go, someone will come up to me and go, "Hey, you're that guy." Yes, yes, I am. That's, oh, I know. I saw you. You're that guy, and you get it all over the place.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to write my memoirs of an almost famous actor and call it "You're That Guy."
You're that guy.
You're that guy. Aren't you that guy that? Yeah, I am.
I'll take an
And
autographed copy of that any day.
it's very funny. I mean, what can you say about voice acting and acting? It's just I think I've forgotten more than people have learned recently. I mean, a lot of the people who I see, I get a laugh out of some of the celebrity guys who go and do cartoons. They made me do the take 51 times. Voiceover is so hard.
Yeah.
No, you just suck.
Yeah, well, but tell them to leave because we all would rather have voice actors be in there anyway.
Yeah, let's let the voice actors do the voice acting. You go do your on camera and make your millions on camera, and we'll do all
Yeah,
the voice. It's one thing that always picked me about the big features like
yeah.
Pixar and all that.
You're not
Is
alone.
all the guys who do the bread and butter work, all the cartoons, the Saturday morning, and all that stuff. We do that,
Yeah.
but when they have a big feature, they bring in all these, headline stars, which kids really don't
They
give a
don't
damn.
know. My kids had no idea. We watched Ice Age 4. My kids go, "Who are they?" I said, "Nobody."
Nobody. Same, it's there's a lot of them, and you go, well, why would you hire them? What is it that you and it's the cachet.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's for the grown-ups.
And they really, really believe that that'll help them save, make money because of who they are. And some of them are so bad at it.
Oh man, don't get me started. I can think
I
of
don't
a
have that
couple of
long for the
shows where I
interview.
just want to go give them a slap. But no, I'm I would say that yeah, if I was going to write a book, I'd just write a book about being a journeyman actor and what it's like to be not famous, but to work your whole life in the like I've been working in the movie business and the film business and the theater and cartoon business for 34 years as a professional. But I can walk down the street, nobody knows me from Adam, but every once in a while someone will come up and go, "Hey, you're that guy." And that's the same thing is you can go your whole life and never be a Brad Pitt or a,
The last question was, do you have any upcoming conventions that you'd like to promote while you're here?
yes, I'll be in Cincinnati, Ohio. That will be the end of May. And in July, I'll be at some kind of a super con in Florida. I don't know exactly where it is. In November, I'll be in Australia, in Brisbane and Adelaide. Um, And that's all I have at the moment so far. I don't know. I don't know if any more are coming up. I was supposed to be in Washington D.C. this weekend or last weekend, but I had to cancel because of work. So
Oh, sorry to hear that. I'm going to try to get that Cincinnati, Ohio. I have a friend that lives in that area, so it would be nice to meet,
yeah, it's a
to
lot of
hang out with
fun.
you and get to see him. So, last
Yeah,
question was just, I know you're married, and
yeah.
how long have you been married? How's your family? And
Well,
is your wife a big supporter and help, or does she get sick
well,
of you doing push-ups?
she is a huge supporter. She's a wonderful gal. We've been friends for well about 20, almost 27 years, and we've been together for about 3 years because we had other wives and husbands
Ah,
back then. But it just so happened that things worked out and our paths crossed, and we hit it off, and things got great. And she is very supportive of my career. She loves what I do. What I do, I actually do jobs for her
ah,
on company videos. So if you guys ever wanna hear me, go and listen to the tutorial for playspeak.com. Playspeak.com is I'll do it really quickly, is a geo-verifiable public consultation and public consultation platform where if you have something, in your community that needs to be addressed, you can go to PlaySpeak and air your concerns, like for developers and city councils who want to do something with the town, and they're in your area and you don't like it or you like it. You can say why you like it and why you don't, and that's like a public consultation. And we're using it now in Snohomish County in Washington, in Belfast in Ireland, here in Vancouver and Calgary and Toronto and different cities. And it's a wonderful thing. Try it out. Playspeak.com.
there's your shameless plug. And
Shameless plug.
and Microphone Mondays are brought to you by Ripped Apparel T-shirts, so you guys go check them out as well at rippedapparel.com. And thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so very much, John.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Have a great day, everybody.